All right, today we are diving into something pretty huge, Claude 4.6. This is the new AI model from Anthropic, and let me tell you, it is not just another run-of-the-mill update. It's being set up as a massive leap forward for anyone in the world of financial analysis.
So let's start with a wild question. What if you could take a full, grueling day of financial analysis and just, squeeze it down into a few minutes? Sounds a little like science fiction, right? Well, that's the promise we're going to dig into today. Okay, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll meet this new AI assistant. Then, we're going to put it through its paces and look at the actual numbers. After that, we'll explore the real-world toolkit it offers, see how it stacks up against the big competitors, and finally talk about its biggest strengths and why a human still needs to be in charge.
So, what exactly is Claude 4.6? Well, think of it as a specialist. This AI has been built from the ground up for the super complex, high-stakes world of enterprise finance. It's less of a general chatbot and way more of a finely tuned analytical engine.
Now this number right here, this is a huge deal. 1 million tokens. So in AI terms, a token is basically a piece of a word. This massive number is the model's short-term memory. It means it can ingest and think about an entire annual report or even years of financial data all in one go, without forgetting what it read on page 1.
And it's not just about raw memory, it's about how it thinks. It has what's called hybrid reasoning. So you can ask it for a quick fact, and you'll get an answer instantly. But for a really tough problem, it can slow down and work through it step by step, kind of like how a human analyst switches gears from a quick lookup to a deep, focused project.
Okay, so a huge memory and flexible thinking, that all sounds great on paper. But how does it actually perform when the pressure's on? Let's get past the specs and look at some cold, hard data from actual industry tests.
So take a look at this. On the finance agent benchmark, which basically mimics real-world analyst jobs like digging through SEC filings, Claude 4.6 is the clear winner. And it's not just inching ahead. That's a solid lead over the latest and greatest from OpenAI and a big jump from its own last version.
And when you throw the notoriously complex world of tax codes at it, well, it achieves state-of-the-art performance. Getting a 76% accuracy here shows it can really understand dense, rule-heavy documents, something that can make even human experts sweat.
Those benchmarks are definitely impressive, but what does that mean for someone's actual day-to-day work? Let's shift from the test scores to the practical tools an analyst can actually use.
This is where it gets really, really interesting. Picture this. You have a pile of messy, raw data, and you need to turn it into a polished, structured report. On a task just like that, Claude 4.6 more than doubled the performance of the last version. The bottom line, what used to be a full day's work can now be drafted in minutes.
And get this, it's designed to work where you work. Anthropic has woven it deep into Microsoft Excel. This means it's not just reading your spreadsheet, it's like a brain inside your spreadsheet. You can tell it in plain English to build pivot tables, generate charts, or even find bugs in your formulas.
And this quote from a real-world field test just says it all. We're talking about taking tasks that used to eat up half a workday, or more, and getting them done in less than an hour. That is a staggering jump in productivity.
The experts are definitely paying attention. When you hear phrases like watershed moment, you know something big is happening. And it's because the AI has shifted from being a passive tool you feed data to an active partner you can work with right inside your files.
All right, so Claude 4.6 is clearly a powerhouse, but it's not the only game in town. The AI field is packed with heavy hitters. So how does it really stack up against the giants like OpenAI, Google, and Mistral? Visually, this is the first thing that jumps out. That 1 million token context window we talked about, it absolutely dwarfs competitors like GPT-4. When your job is to analyze hundreds of pages of financial documents, that massive memory isn't just a feature, it's a total game changer. And of course, there's the cost. For any large company, this is a huge deal. On a per-token basis, Claude 4.6 is significantly cheaper. When your teams are processing millions and millions of tokens for things like quarterly reports, those savings are going to add up really, really fast. This table really gives you the bird's eye view. And the key takeaway is that each of these models has its own special purpose. GPT-4 is a fantastic generalist that can also see images. Gemini is plugged into the whole Google world. But for the very specific, very demanding job of large-scale financial analysis, Claude has clearly carved out a dominant position for itself. Now we get to maybe the most important part of this whole conversation, taking a balanced look. Because with any tool this powerful, you have to understand its limits just as much as its strengths. So let's talk about what's great and what you absolutely need to watch out for.
So to sum up the strengths, they are seriously impressive. You've got the incredible 1 million token context, top-of-the-line reasoning and accuracy for finance. It plugs right into the tools you already use. It can handle complex jobs on its own, and it's cheaper for big projects. It's a heck of a list.
But, and this is a really, really big but, it is not perfect. It's not 100% accurate, which means a human expert must review its work. It can sometimes get stuck overthinking a simple problem, which can slow things down. It can't look at images or listen to audio. And those tool integrations, while amazing, are still a work in progress. This quote, I think, perfectly captures this moment in time. When huge players like Bridgewater and Norway's sovereign wealth fund start building this tech into their core, mission-critical work, you know it's officially graduated from a cool science experiment to a real operational tool. Which brings us to the single most important idea to take away from all of this. Claude 4.6 is not here to replace financial analysts. It's here to be a force multiplier. It's designed to do the heavy lifting, the tedious data crunching, which frees up human experts to do what they do best. Think strategically, interpret results, and make the final call.
I just love this quote from a senior analyst because what could capture it better? It's like having a team member who has a perfect memory, never gets tired, and has read absolutely everything. It's a tireless partner working right alongside you.
So look, this technology is not some distant future idea anymore. It's here, it's operational, it's being deployed by major players right now. It is going to fundamentally change how work gets done in finance. So the only question left to ask is, are you ready for it?